Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Studio G. On today's show, we have the latest news from around the nation.
We explore the new Children's Discovery Museum.
And we have coverage from NASCAR weekend. All this and so much more right now on Studio G. Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Studio G. I'm Austin Enney.
And I'm Heather Fairberger.
Time now for a look at the top headlines happening around the nation. Stargazers are in for a rare treat. Another comet is zipping by Earth, but this one should be visible with the naked eye. This is Comet Pan-STARRS. These amazing images of the comet were captured from Mount Dale in Western Australia. Pan-STARRS is now visible in the northern hemisphere. Viewers in the U.S. might be able to see it in the clear sunset sky on the western horizon. The best time to look for it is about 15 minutes after twilight. The FAA is investigating a chain of events that ended in two airplanes making contact at New York's JFK International Airport. Saturday's incident involved JetBlue and Air India planes. A JetBlue spokesman said one of the airplane's planes was getting ready for departure when its tow bar got damaged. According to the spokesman, the plane was parked just short of the gate. An Air India aircraft bumped it while taxiing. No injuries were reported from anyone on either plane, and eventually passengers were dispatched to their destinations safely. Finally, in lighter news, it ain't easy being a meme. No, the internet sensation known as Grumpy Cat made an appearance at the South by Southwest Music Festival in Austin, Texas. You've probably seen pictures of Grumpy Cat on social media sites. The cat's name is actually Tartar Sauce, and believe it or not, the cat is sponsored. And yes, 3 days of photo opportunities like this are enough to make any cat, especially this one, a little bit grumpy. That's all for your national news on this Monday. Make sure to stay tuned for tomorrow's show, where our lovable Londoner, Alex Bull, will catch you up on all of your international news.
The Olympics were held at UNLV recently, but not the traditional Olympics you might know.
The Olympics have arrived at the Student Union, the UNLV Olympics that is. The Rebel Events Board, previously known as the Rebel Pride Council, put on their latest Rebels After Dark event involving supersized versions of Olympic sports like boxing, archery, and basketball.
We have a whole bunch of different things for students. Rebels After Dark is for alternative programming. So as opposed to going out on a Thursday night, you'd come here in a safe environment. So tonight we did Olympics theme and we provided Olympic Nerf ski, bouncy boxing, human-sized foosball, big shot basketball, and archery.
All Rebels After Dark events are free for students and are hosted throughout the school year to give students a fun, alternative way to spend their nights in a safe environment.
Usually we start events after it gets dark, so all different types of events we do. We've done haunted houses, we've done carnivals, stuff like that too for UNLV students.
Besides fun events like the UNLV Olympics, the Rebel Events Board also puts on campus-wide competitions like UNLV Idol, open to all students.
We have a lot of events coming up. Our biggest one, we have a whole bunch of movie nights and open mic nights, but our biggest one is coming up March 20th. It's UNLV Idol, so make sure you come out for that.
If you want to come to Rebels After Dark and shoot some big-time hoops, come check it out. For Studio G, I'm Jamie Seymour.
For more Rebels After Dark events, check out the Rebel Event Board's Facebook page.
Crossing the threshold from the present to the past, leaving behind the hustle and bustle of the Las Vegas Strip, our very own reporter Bree Bradley stumbled across a desert gem not far from the UNLV campus. She tells us more.
Just 15 miles outside of Las Vegas lies what historians believe to be the oldest bar in Clark County. Established in 1913 by George Fale, the Pioneer Saloon was a place for local miners to kick off their boots and enjoy an evening with friends. Celebrating its 100-year anniversary, this saloon has been touched by numerous tragic deaths, old mining heritage, featured in countless movies and television shows, and even bears a room dedicated to the remembrance of the 1930s great American couple, Carole Lombard and Clark Gable. Amongst the cozy atmosphere and rich history, it was no surprise to owner Noel Shekels to recently discover a hidden treasure within the building.
A year ago, National Geographic contacted us, said, can we come in and look for the gold? And so we said, sure. So they came in for 3 days and looked for the gold, and there was many places they didn't get a chance to check, so they never found the gold. But what they did find was about 3,000 or 4,000 coins that were tossed up on top of the bar by the miners for good luck. But on top of the bar, there's a gap between the bar and the wall about this much. So most of the coins went over the top of the bar and fell on the floor.
Thousands of coins, including buffalo nickels, mercury dimes, and wheat pennies, poured from the 2-foot space that the team dug into behind the 100-year-old bar. Interestingly enough, there is still nearly 14 feet of space that has still been untouched.
We believe there's about 20,000 coins back there, and possibly the gold.
The recent treasure discovery is only one of many historical aspects that lure visitors to the Pioneer Saloon. The old Western environment, live music, weekly ghost hunting, and traditions of signing the bathroom walls also pertain to many people's taste, just to name a few.
That has been a tradition for 100 years. There's stuff that dates back from the time they opened the bar, and how that started is a mystery. We repaint it about every 90 days. Someday they'll have the technology, they can peel all that back.
The Pioneer Saloon is a place where most of its patrons see as a sanctuary away from the big city of Las Vegas, and its rich history makes it an even more desirable place to be. For Studio G, I'm Bree Bradley.
Thank you, Bree. If you're interested in finding more about the upcoming events for the Pioneer Saloon's 100-year anniversary, be sure to visit their website at pioneersaloon.com.
When we come back, Eddie Vargas has the latest in sports news.
And Alexis Mers will have the weather, so stay right here on Studio G.
It's convenience. It saves me a lot of money because I'm on a meal plan basically, and it saves me time because I don't have to walk across the street. It saves me gas because I don't have to drive anywhere to eat, and especially being a lazy college student, I can just walk right over here when I'm hungry and not have to wait that much longer to get food.
Everyone, welcome back. I'm Alexis Mers, and this is today's weather. You see, we are at a very beautiful 64 degrees, really warming up this week, and we'll find that out later on. If you take a look at our high, we are currently at it. 46 will be our low, a little cool, but we're going to pretty much be warm today. And our current weather over the valley, 55 in Tonopah, 63 down in Mercury, and 62 at the Air Force Base. All right, and if we take a look at our national weather, it looks like we said goodbye to Weather Storm Saturn, and we're saying hello to Trenton. Moving across here in the Midwest, we've got some rain and some snowfall coming through. Going down into the south, there's going to be a lot of rain in Virginia and in Florida's peninsula. Moving up into the East Coast, looks like there will be plenty of rainstorms, and there's going to be a lot of snow melting, so look out for some possible flooding. Our current weather, really warm over here on the West Coast, 68 in Phoenix, 64 in Sacramento, beautiful 77 in Miami, 42 in Augusta. And tomorrow's forecast, still going to be pretty warm this week, 71 here at Mercury, 74 tomorrow, so we're definitely going to be warming up. A little bit warmer each day, and then 74 again at Nellis Air Force Base. And for our outlook, looks like we're going to really be warming up nice and sunny, 74, 77, and 80. Looks like Nevada Energy is going to be happy about that. Alrighty, well that's all the weather I have for you today. And just remember, no matter what the weather, it's a great day to be a rebel. Over to sports with Eddie.
Hello, I'm Eddie Vargas and welcome to all your recent sports news here on Studio G. The Rebels didn't do too good this past weekend after losing to Fresno State 61-52. This was the Rebels' first loss in 14 games at home, but I'm sure we will have a better result when we take on the Air Force this Wednesday. But a team that did do good this weekend was the Lakers, and here are the highlights. The Los Angeles Lakers find themselves in 8th place in the West after beating the Bulls 90-81. With this win, they've reached the final playoff spot in the Western Conference and just one half game ahead of Utah. The Lakers had 6 players with double-digit points, including Kobe Bryant, who scored 19 points, and Dwight Howard scoring 16 and grabbing 21 rebounds. Point guard Steve Nash heated up in the third, scoring 10 of his 16 points in the third quarter. Now the Lakers just have to keep on winning in order to secure themselves a playoff spot until the regular season is over. And talking about LA, how about this dunk? But coming from the Los Angeles Clippers center DeAndre Jordan. With 4:32 remaining in the second, DeAndre Jordan slams all over Pistons point guard Brandon Knight, leaving him flat on the ground. Wow, what a dunk. Let's go to the defending champs, the Miami Heat, who keep on winning after beating Indiana 105-96, making it their 18th straight victory. Mauro Chalmers led the team with 26 points, including 5 from beyond the arc. From basketball, we go to baseball, where things got heated up during the World Baseball Classic between Mexico and Canada. This after pitcher Arnold Leon hit Rene Tassoni, unleashing a big brawl between the teams. As you can see, both benches were empty as they tried to open a can of butt whooping on each other. On a lighter note, let's go to NASCAR, where we got the privilege to interview Mexican NASCAR racer Juan Carlos Bloom right before the 2013 NASCAR Nationwide Series here in Las Vegas at the Motor Speedway.
It's my first time here in Las Vegas in the Las Vegas Speedway. I come to Las Vegas with a good result. The last week I run in Phoenix Raceway and finished the 2026, and I hope finish in a better and better place here. Is my goal for this weekend.
He ended up finishing in 28th place, almost the exact same outcome of his previous race. Well, we wish him the best of luck in his future NASCAR races. That's all I have for you today. Be sure you tune in tomorrow where Justin Fuller will have the latest. Now back to the anchors, Heather and Austin.
Thank you, Eddie. Like Alexis mentioned earlier, the weather is warming up in the valley, and with the spring season fast approaching, the National Park Service invited the public out to Cottonwood Cove on Lake Mojave this past Saturday for the 9th annual Save the Desert Environmental Walk. Those who volunteered their time were treated to a light breakfast before the journey. The National Park Service provided buckets, bags, lawn pickers, and gloves to the volunteers for safety. At about 9 a.m., the volunteers loaded into a van after a short safety briefing and were dropped off along the road to pick up trash in the area. In the past, volunteers have accumulated hundreds to over 1,000 pounds of trash from the surrounding desert. To learn how you can be a volunteer with the National Park Service, follow the Get Involved tab on their webpage, nps.gov.
The forced spending cuts that went into effect recently, also known as the sequester, had its first casualty. The White House announced over the weekend that they are canceling their White House tours. People who called the hotline got an automated message that gave them the bad news. The canceled tours helps the agency save $74,000 a week, adding up to around $2 million a year. For folks in D.C. hoping to get the tour of the presidential palace, some waiting for months are left out by the front gates.
Just because of the fact that I know how difficult sometimes it is to get a tour of the White House and to have it lined up and just to kind of coincide with his birthday, and for him to just turn 8 and he had his own bucket list, and on that bucket list was D.C. and the White House, and so it was a little bit upsetting.
My mother was looking forward to the visit at the White House because this was her 70th birthday gift from her kids, and she's so disappointed because she's not allowed to visit the White House. I just think that was just so inconsiderate.
The canceled tours are receiving criticism for GOP leaders deeming it a political move by the Obama administration to gain more negative attention over the cuts and put all the blame on the GOP. While the tours have stopped for now, the White House Visitor Center will remain open 7 days a week. When we come back from the break, Allison Whitley will sit down with our special guest for today's show, Sharon Chira.
And we come back with an update from NASCAR weekend, so stay tuned.
Where is the moment we needed the most? You kick up the leaves. leaves and the magic is lost. Tell me your blue skies fade to gray. Tell me your passion's gone away, and I don't need no carrying on. You stand in the line just to hit a new low. You're faking a smile with the coffee to go. And tell me your life's been way offline. You fall into pieces every time, and I don't need no carrying on, 'cause you had a bad day.
Welcome back, everyone, and I'm Allison Whitley, and today I'm sitting down with Sharon Chira, Director of Marketing Internal Medicine Specialist of Southern Nevada. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. And we're going to start off and just explain a little bit about internal medicine for people who might not understand what it is.
Well, internal medicine specialist is a 5-physician specialty practice in internal medicine. And that differs from like general practitioners because our doctors only treat adults and they treat chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, obesity, so that our skill set is a little bit different.
Okay, and what is the exact differences between your home family general practice compared to internal medicine? What would be the difference between those two?
Well, first of all, we don't treat pediatric patients or anyone under the age of 18. Secondarily, you usually have some type of a chronic health condition. Maybe you have high blood pressure, or maybe you're suffering from cancer. We're kind of a conduit between a family practice and specialist. So if you're going to see a doctor for cancer, you'll see an oncologist. An internal medicine specialist actually integrates that health care, so they can do on-site, cardiac training or studies while you're seeing also the oncologist or your family practitioner.
And how would you be able to figure out if somebody qualifies to be an internal medicine specialist? Or
by default, most adult patients actually see internists. They just don't realize it. So you might go for your coughs and flus, things of that sort, which we can certainly treat, but you don't even know that that's not a family practitioner per se. And it really doesn't make that big of a difference.
And what sets you guys apart from other people?
Well, we've been in town almost 20 years. We have on-site diagnostic capabilities, so everything from x-rays and DEXA scans to echocardiology and also treadmills. We also have another division that's dedicated to cosmetics. So we do laser, like laser skin tightening, enhancement, laser hair removal. So it's kind of where you can go for both health and beauty.
And I've heard people refer to internal medicine specialists kind of as a doctor's doctor. Can you explain a little bit about why would doctors go to internal specialists? How do they help doctors specifically?
Well, I think it's the layer of confidence that they have. There's a greater sense of function in terms of the holistic human being, so the kind of the body, mind, spirit. It's also having a greater concentration in the areas that might stymie most people's health. The circulatory system, diabetes is prevalent, so it's monitoring your glucose levels, things of that sort. A doctor wants to have confidence, whoever she or he is, that the practitioner they go to will be able to elucidate what's going on immediately.
Okay. And what's the difference between prevention and treatment? What would you consider the difference between those two?
Well, in internal medicine specialist, we like to focus on prevention versus treatment. We do a tremendous amount of treatment, but the truth is, if you lower your risks of getting diabetes, it may mean losing weight. It means regular activity. It's a good and nutritious diet. So these things are preventative aspects for the long term. And any time is a good time to start on prevention. Look at your diet, what you eat, get regular exercise, manage your blood pressure, stress levels.
And considering stress levels, college students are prone to this for sure. So what exactly, now that spring break is coming up, college students are going out, going to be looking at things, what should we look at as possible health concerns while we're going through spring break and the
While
future?
You're partying?
Yeah, while you're partying it up,
Well, spring break is a great stress reliever for students, but what you forget a lot of times is that there are risks. So, you know, maybe you'll be participating in behaviors that really don't serve you. Maybe you're not wearing your seatbelt, you know, something as simple as that. Drinking too much. You know, there are time and again in spring break, kids who die from alcohol poisoning because you're having a good time, you're, you know, doing all of these things, and the concentration in your blood system of alcohol can actually kill you. So it's even having unprotected sex, having behaviors, taking risky behaviors that may not seem like a risk at the time, but they may come back to revisit you, like an STD. So these are things that you still have to be cognizant. You can have fun, but you always have to be aware of those.
Right, and we're going to be going into our last question, running out of time here. Now that we're looking at the future, what exactly should we do? Should we look towards more internal medicine? Should we be looking towards other things or specializing? Or
you mean in terms of the healthcare that you
yes.
seek?
Yeah.
Of course, you can always go to an internal medicine specialist, absolutely. You can use them as kind of your GP. There's no problem with that. But the focus is on prevention. So the sooner that you create a relationship with a healthcare provider, whoever that is, it's important to have that dialogue, to take their recommendations, whether it's your diet, your exercise level, whatever it might be, and implement them now so that in the future you don't have to come back as a patient for treatment, but just a well checkup.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Sharon Chira for stopping by. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will look at the Discovery Children's Museum. Stay tuned.
I'd like to thank the members of the UNLV community that have started something.
I became a big sister to make an impact in a child's life.
I became a big brother to get involved in my community.
4 hours a month, you can make a big difference in the life of a child.
I became a big sister because I wanted to start something.
Contact Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southern Nevada and start something today.
She's a creeper, creeper, keep her away from me. Everywhere I see her chasing me. Creeper, creeper, sneaking up next to me. The only thing she wants is the rest of me. Hiding in the shadows, looking through my calls. She's hanging with my friends just to be involved. She's a creeper, keep her away from me.
You! Hello, I'm being stalked.
Over the weekend, hundreds of thousands of NASCAR fanatics invaded the Las Vegas Valley. Reporter Carl Winder goes in depth to why people like NASCAR.
Left turns, loud noises, and crowdedness. This may sound like a horrible time, but for the followers of this sport, NASCAR is a unique experience that cannot be found anywhere else.
You know, it's fast.
Gasoline smells.
It's colorful.
Rubber burning smells.
And it's fun.
Now, a lot of people see NASCAR as taking 3 lefts to make a right, but for the fans of the sport, that might be a little bit different.
Have you ever tried driving 200 miles an hour for a couple hours? No, I'm sorry, that's a sport. Those guys have to be physically fit to be able to do that job.
For some, this is their first NASCAR experience, and for them, there is a difference between watching it at home and in person.
I love it. It's a totally different feel than what you see on TV and everything. Just the experience, the feeling, that like the smells, just all the senses stuff that you really don't get on TV. And
when the race is completed, most fanatics go back to the RVs they drove in and immerse themselves with the thousands in the community.
After the races, you get to walk around with everybody, hang out, have a drink. It's just a great community to be around. Everybody has similar hobbies because we're all here for one reason.
For Studio G, I'm Carl Winder.
Matt Kenseth ended up winning the Cobalt 400. It was his first victory in Las Vegas since 2004. It was also his 41st birthday and became the 3rd driver in NASCAR history to win on his day of birth.
Have you been a part of a recent text message scam?
This is what the message looks like. Hey, you can get a $1,000 gift card from Walmart.
It's intriguing, it's puzzling, it's tempting, and they end up wanting to click on it.
How common are these text messages? My producer David Gracie has received several of these.
They said, congratulations, you won a free gift card. But after the 3rd text I got in under a week saying I've won a free gift card, I knew
I couldn't be that lucky.
The FTC is cracking down, charging 29 individuals and companies from around the U.S. with sending more than 180 million unwanted text messages. First, spam text messages are illegal, and the FTC says these so-called free gift cards are anything but free. If you actually click on the link, you have to keep putting in more and more personal information.
As many as 13 different offers they're required to complete, supposedly just to receive this free gift card. The offers they're presented with include offers to apply for credit. They include offers to sign up for free trial offers for various products. At the end of the day, after they complete all of those steps, 13 or more steps, they're oftentimes then presented with something that says, now find 3 more people who will fill out this information.
According to a study by Cloudmark, 60% of consumers said they had received a spam text message in the last year. Blocking the text message is not so easy.
The telephone companies have some methods to attempt to block spam text messages, but you need to know the number that you want to block. And the problem with these scams is that the numbers change so regularly.
So what should you do if you receive one of these text messages? Well, the FTC says to forward it to your carrier by typing in 7726 or spam. And what about that promise of a free gift card? When you had your people go through the process, did they end up with a gift card?
None of my investigators who did go through the process received a gift card.
Always be cautious when receiving texts claiming offers like these and never give out personal information.
This past Saturday, the new Children's Discovery Museum opened its doors to the community in downtown Las Vegas.
Hundreds of people waited in line since early morning for the grand opening of the all-new Discovery Children's Museum located in Symphony Park in downtown Las Vegas.
We are super excited to have this many people enjoy the museum today. The community is really coming in and showing us that this is a great resource. We've heard from people the colors are bright. They really like that it's larger than the last facility and that it's new exhibits.
The 3-story, 58,000 square feet museum features 9 new interactive exhibition galleries in science, arts, culture, and early childhood learning, as well as daily demonstrations, workshops, and activities.
It's interactive, so it's a different way for them to learn, and it gets them away from the TV. It gets them someplace safe where they're not riding their bikes on the street or something like that, unsupervised. This is a place where parents can come and learn, and they can have fun with their kids.
The Children's Museum provides a fun environment for children to learn and have fun at the same time. There is also a 5,000 square feet traveling exhibition gallery. Discover the Real George Washington is currently on display through May 15th, and it is not only catching the children's attention.
So the exhibit really traces his life, starting with his first career as a surveyor, then as a soldier, a Virginia planter, coming to the Revolutionary War, and then being president. But it also ties in with that public life elements of his private life. There's also an opportunity to see his real, actual false teeth, which were not made of wood as legend would have it.
The museum's mission is to serve the community's ever-changing needs and ignite a love of lifelong learning. In its opening day, most would agree it has already begun to do just that.
It's going good. Everything here is fun, and I like coming.
It was really fun with my daddy and my Nani and Papi, and doing the big lights that made energy, played music and went down the slides, did the tuba. They can bring me every day.
For Studio G, I'm Maria Landeros.
Thanks, Maria. The museum is open to the public and ready to explore. Check it out.
After visiting the new Discovery Center, take a stroll through Symphony Park. Just a few minutes from the bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip is Symphony Park, around the grassy field where kids and families can play. There's also an artistic flair to enjoy. Symphony Park is the first major open space within downtown Las Vegas and is quickly becoming Las Vegas's urban central park. It is a beautifully landscaped area that encourages outdoor social interaction.
And it's close to the Strip. Las Vegas is known for all the Strip life, but here we have something right next to it that's meant for kids and that families can enjoy together.
And that will do it for today's show. I'm Heather Fairberger.
And I'm Austin Denny. Be sure to catch us here every weekday at noon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.